how serious this story is for the wider New Zealand economy. It dipped more than a cent against the American currency. Tony Field is live now with details on what the impact could be for all of us. Tony.
Well, Mike, Fonterra has a turnover of around $20 billion a year, and it's not just Fonterra's 10,500 farmers, it's thousands of staff who depend on Fonterra for their livelihoods. Really, the entire economy benefits when Fonterra is doing well, and that's the reason there's so much concern about the potential damage to Fonterra's reputation. And today, that concern about the damage potentially to Fonterra's reputation was very, very clear on the financial markets. The Fonterra product recall has been making headlines around the world.
Authorities in New Zealand say they will conduct a full investigation into the Fonterra milk powder scandal.
So for investors, it was a case of sell first and ask questions later. The dollar fell over 1 cent this morning against the US greenback, 1.5 cents against the Australian.
Dairy is 27% of New Zealand's exports. Whatever happens to dairy is important to the New Zealand economy. Foreign exchange markets watch dairy very, very closely and are very sensitive to this type of news.
Then it was the turn of the Fonterra shareholders fund, down 8% in early trading.
People are very concerned around the brand damage which will be done to Fonterra as a consequence of this. There'll be questions over management, questions over internal processes.
I had a few phone calls of really concerned farmers, but yeah, a lot of speculation again, and it doesn't help us at the moment. We first need to restore confidence again, and then we'll deal with the real issues.
Issues like whether Fonterra should have gone public sooner and whether it's breached the stock market's continuous disclosure rules.
I think there'll be some very big questions asked over the time frame with which the company were alerted to this issue and have announced it to the market.
If the problem's not resolved quickly, it could drive the dollar even lower.
That would mean ordinary New Zealanders would find their New Zealand dollars don't go as far when they attempt to purchase goods and services from overseas. So it would make us all worse off.
Higher prices would drive up inflation, increasing the chances of an interest rate hike. Now, the Fonterra Shareholders Fund share price recovered some lost ground through the day. It finished about 3.7% down, was about 5% down on the Australian market. Locally, around $60 million worth of shares were traded. That's about 10 times as many as you typically see traded on any given day on our local share market. Now, a big test for Fonterra is going to come on Wednesday. That's going to be the next global dairy trade auction. Fonterra made clear today that in no previous auctions or in this coming auction have any affected products been sold, but clearly there's going to be a lot of attention on how the prices trade. We've had a whole series of really impressive price rises in those auctions. In fact, economists at Westpac were expecting that we were possibly going to see a slight drop in prices on Wednesday, maybe up to 5%, but they say if you see the prices go much lower than that, perhaps 10%, even 15% down, that is going to be a huge concern for Fonterra.
Okay, Tony, thank you.